Can you hear us?
Well, hello there, friends and neighbors. Good to be back with you. I almost didn't get the microphone turned on.
I'm not sure if it is actually
Is
using
our audio, is it good or is it no good?
Should be fine.
Hope it's fine.
We'll see.
Maybe.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to the next edition of Monday Night Live.
I missed you. Did you miss me? Because I wasn't here last week.
I miss you when you sleep.
That's creepy. I'm Neisha Salas-Hypenberry, registered nurse, health coach, and certified lactation counselor. And this is my sweet co-host and husband, Captain Tennessee. If you didn't know, we live in Tennessee. We love Tennessee. Go Vols, or whatever. We're not big Vols fans, but we know you guys are. So thanks for coming to hang out with you guys, with us tonight. We have a lot to talk about. We have a big announcement for you guys as well. So let's get started.
Let's get started. I'm looking for a comment right now. If you have a question about nutrition, medication, medical conditions, what should I eat? What should I not eat? What about dairy? What about honey? Now's your chance to ask those questions. Type it into the comments, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, or Twitter. I'm just going to keep calling it Twitter. Rumble, Bumble, or Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube. Type your question in the comments, and we can see all the questions as they come in. And we will try to answer as many as we can. Keep in mind that although I am a doctor and she is a nurse, tonight we are not your doctor or your nurse. We're just two people talking on the internet. So this is not medical advice.
Yeah. Just a few days ago, my Facebook always reminds me first how stupid I used to be because I've had Facebook for a long time. But it also reminds me when I graduated from things, and it has been 20 years since I graduated from LPN.
Wow.
The LPN program. I was a CNA prior to that. And 10 years since I graduated my registered nurse program and passed my NCLEX. And that sounds really crazy. How long have you been a doctor?
I graduated med school in 2000. In the year 2000.
Is that a song? I don't know that song.
Who knows where that's from? If you know where that's from, you're an OG.
We haven't done backstory. So I used to, in a long time.
Let's do it.
I worked in long-term care most of my career.
Oh, let's go back further than that.
What?
What was the very first job you ever had?
The CNA and a nurse.
Literally the first job you ever had.
Yeah. That was my very first job. I've had other jobs, but majority of my paying jobs were in healthcare. I worked at Hollister for a minute. I was a waitress. I've done, customer service and all that stuff. But my very first job was a CNA. I just loved being a nurse and a nurse assistant. But I worked in long-term care. I've done rheumatology. I've done dermatology. And I've done labor and delivery. So my two biggest, best nursing jobs were labor and delivery, mother baby nursery. I worked in a very rural hospital, so we did it all. And
McKinsey Medical.
Long-term care in Camden, Tennessee. So what did you do? Well, wait. I also worked at a prison as a nurse too.
Prison nurse, so don't mess with
Very interesting time.
I got a good question here I want to get. Okay. Then I'll tell my story. This is from Susan. No, that's not the one. Where'd it go? Here it is. Yes. So for anybody with celiac disease, ulcerative colitis, or irritable bowel syndrome, or irritable bowel disease, this answer is for you. Sandra says, what is the best way to eat for celiac disease? Two people I know have just been diagnosed with it. Thanks. Carnivore. 100% carnivore, 100% of the time, all the time, strictly. I can't tell you how many hundreds of people with celiac, with ulcerative colitis, with Crohn's disease, with basically any gut issue whatsoever. Carnivore is the way. Carnivore is completely gluten-free, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about does this have gluten or does this not. Ground beef never has gluten. If it does, it's not ground beef. It's something, SAR. So a carnivore for any gut condition from the top hole to the other side. Carnivore, 100%. Now, where were we?
What have you done in your medical career? Where have you been?
So I went to University of Tennessee Health Science Center for medical school in Memphis. I got accepted to ETSU in Johnson City. But I decided to go with Memphis. I'm not sure why. It's a better school overall. I was thinking about being an OBGYN, and they had some of the top researchers and experts at the time there at UT Memphis. And then I did my residency at St. Francis, a big hospital there in Memphis. I did some part-time work up in Covington. And then I started moonlighting in ERs as a second-year resident. Yep, second-year resident. I got my license, and then I could start working in local small emergency departments. So I worked in the emergency room in Camden, Tennessee, in Erin, Tennessee, Parsons, Tennessee. Seems like there was one other one, but those are the ones that I worked at most of the time. Had a blast working in all the ERs, and I had full intentions of being an ER doctor. Forever. I never wanted to be a clinic doctor, and I didn't even know there was such a thing as a YouTube doctor. So that's my story.
But all that to say, we've had most of our career was spent either in acute care with him or long-term care. I've seen the sickest of the sick, and then in the clinic, when you were at the very clinic, you saw the sickest of the sick. So much metabolic disease in the nursing home. So much that could be prevented, reversed.
Yeah, so much.
So that's why I'm so passionate about this, is because I see exactly how this plays out if you let your health go. And it's not even your fault, but it is your problem. As Dr. Berry says, if you continue along following the guidelines, that do not help your actual health, but help other things.
Mm-hmm. Big pharma and big food's bottom line, you mean?
That's what I mean.
Oh, yes, yes,
so
yes.
We're here to help you guys, and we don't care if you do low carb, carnivore, or somewhere in between, as long as you're making improvements to your health via the food on the table.
Absolutely. Now, let's see if we can find a question. You can be looking over there, too, if you want to.
Sure. Okay, so Boink says, I love chicken liver. I went to the grocery store today. Normally, I order my groceries because we're very busy, and I have them brought to me. We have a delivery service finally here in Podunk, Tennessee. But I went because I wanted to look around and see, because it's hard times. Things are expensive, and I wanted to find some budget-friendly options. Of course, we live in Tennessee. Everywhere is different. But you can buy chicken liver here for $1.97 a pound.
Yeah.
And you don't have to just eat them straight. You can put them in your ground beef. You can hide them. They will bulk up a 1 pound ground beef or 2 pounds of. You can add for very cheap more meat, more protein, more nutrients.
Oh, vitamins and minerals off the chart
For very reasonable price.
$1.97
for the pound.
For 1 pound.
Yes. And then also beef liver was I think $3.97 a pound.
At Walmart they had beef liver.
Yes, and calf liver as well. Calf liver is a little more mild, I've heard.
Right.
So think about adding liver to bulk up your meat when it comes to budget-friendly things, because we understand, like, beef is very expensive.
Yep.
Chicken can be a little less expensive per pound, but look, shop the sales too. I got some on sale today. You can put it in the freezer.
Absolutely.
If you're not ready to eat it.
I got another liver question here from King of the Hill. I know you talked about liver before. I want to ask about chicken liver. I love it. He must cook it with your chicken nugget recipe. Can I eat it 3 days a week for my carnivore meal of the day? Yeah, 100%. Yes. And a lot of people will say things like, oh, you'll get vitamin A toxic if you eat liver too often. And I have searched the medical literature, and I cannot find a single recorded case study of anybody developing vitamin A toxicity or hypervitaminosis A from eating the liver of domesticated animals that you can buy at the supermarket. I've yet to see a case study. Now, if you haven't already done so, Granny Berry's watching this tonight. She's staying with our parents down in Alabama. Could you please say hi to Granny Berry and tell her where you're watching from? She loves it when you guys do that. Makes her nights.
Hendersonville, Tennessee. Hey, neighbor.
Hey, neighbor.
Jack says, what about liver supplement? So you can either buy liver and chop it up very tiny capsule size and put it in the freezer. And they become just little, you can't even taste it.
Little liver cubes.
Little cubes of liver, and you can swallow those as a supplement. Or if you want a good quality one, Ancestral Supplements makes this beef liver capsule. And it's grass-fed, and it's really good quality, and it's well-sourced. We have a discount code in the description. We work with them because we have questioned them. We literally set them down and asked them, how many questions?
A lot.
A lot.
We made them
uncomfortable.
We made them take us to dinner, and then we proceeded to interrogate them for about 2 hours. about every single thing we could think of how they could be cutting corners with this. And their answers were all thumbs up.
Yeah.
Thumbs up.
So there's a discount code because these are not cheap, but these are really good quality. They have thyroid, they have spleen, they have colostrum.
They got Mojo.
They have Mofo.
Which
is the male optimization hormone capsule. They have FEM, which is the female optimization hormone capsule. I take those. It also has beef liver. I think all of them have beef liver because beef liver is such a superfood. So.
Absolutely. And I was just talking to another influencer, and they're like, dude, you don't recommend a lot of products, do you? And I'm like, no. Are you just now figuring that out? They're like, well, most people, when I watch them, they have links to 82 different things that they promote, or they have their own line of supplements, and you don't do any of that. And I said, yeah, I'm not here to make money. I'm here to save people's health and save people's lives. And so since 2017, when we started this, there's literally 2 products that you'll see.
He did that so strategically. So these are the mineral drops.
Salty
they
minerals.
are now rebranded. I've had a few questions come in our email, support@drberry.com, by the way. And this is the same thing as the Keto Chow mineral drops. It's the same, the daily minerals. It's just been put in a new bottle. I think the dose has also been changed to accommodate some feedback from people. But everything is the same as far as the formulation that Dr. Berry worked with them to make sure it's got iodine. But there's a whole list on the website. You can see the breakdown. We use it in our coffee. You can cook with it. You can put it in scrambled eggs. It will not break down.
Exactly. All right. Here's a question from Laura. I am fixing to have, she's from the South. I'm fixing to have a major hernia repair surgery. I know I can have my 0 sugar jerky and beef sticks. What else can I take to make sure everything starts moving? Egg yolks.
Bone broth.
Bone broth. Yeah, the egg yolks are high in fat. Or you can make scrambled eggs and put lots of extra butter. That's high enough fat. And then some magnesium. You could take your daily minerals with you. They have some magnesium, or you could just get a magnesium supplement or something like Elements Unflavored.
Your practitioner probably has already recommended you take Colace. It's totally fine to take that. I don't know that it's going to help that much, but it won't hurt anything for a few days if you want to go ahead and include that as well.
Yep. Here's Crying Ryan. Oh, it rhymes. 53-year-old male, 5+ years Ketovore, lean mass hyperresponder, LDL 206, HDL 79, trig 60, A1C 4.9, CAC score 2 years ago was 127. New scan last week was 144. So you're going up way less than 20%. Yeah, you're a 13% increase in 2 years, which means you're winning, Ryan. Okay.
I love that you know the statistics.
Yeah, average person's exactly. No, that's exactly right. So what Ketovore has done is it has slowed down your rate of calcification. That's what it's done. Yes. And we've seen this in hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands of people by now. And then many people, scores of people, their CAC score actually goes down on Ketovore or Carnivore.
Chris Cooking Nashville's in the comment section. You should check him out. He's an amazing cook here on YouTube. He also is in our PhD community as a guest culinary professional. He said, love seeing Dr. Berry in Animal. Great documentary. Can people watch Animal?
Oh, yeah. So the Carnivore documentary, I totally forgot that. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah.
It is, you can watch it on Apple, on
Netflix?
No. I don't know.
No,
I think Amazon,
Chris,
Apple, and Paramount for sure. And then I think also you can watch it on YouTube, but it's not free on YouTube. It's like one of those, I don't know how much it is, $4.99, $7.99. Yeah, look that up and see. But I'm in the documentary, Dr. Sean Baker, Dr. Anthony Chafee, Dr. Robert Sivis, Dr. Robert Kiltz, and then several other influencers.
Bella's in it.
Bella's in there. Gosh, I'm blanking. Is Courtney Luna in it? I can't remember, but there's several other people that you'll recognize and know if you know about Ketovore.
Well, it is incredible. They need to work on their SEO because I'm having a hard time finding it on Google.
Well, I looked the other day and I couldn't find it either. Let's see. I'll take a question while you look.
Maybe Chris can find the link.
Here's one from Carl. Watched a 5-year-old video of you and Dr. Paul Saladino. Watched more videos. Says he drinks orange juice and watermelon juice. Feels better when eating carbs. Could you comment on his diet? Yeah, I think he's wrong. I think, Paul is my good friend, and he will tell you he thinks I'm wrong. The people that I talk to, the people I try to educate and edify, tend to be people who are over 40, tend to be people who are overweight, tend to be people who have pre-diabetes, type 2 diabetes, fatty liver, hypertension, metabolic syndrome. I do not recommend that any of those people follow Dr. Paul Saladino's advice. And if you've watched enough videos of he and I interacting, he's actually said that before as well, that, yeah, if you got type 2 diabetes, you shouldn't eat all the fruit and honey.
There's multiple interviews with him and Dr. Berry.
Yeah. I've been
on your channel, on his channel.
I've been on his channel. He's been on my channel. We're good friends. We text very often. We've been texting lately about some stuff going on at the federal level.
At the end of the day, we all agree on the same thing for the most part.
Eat lots of meat.
Eat lots of meat and stop eating crap.
Yeah,
Frankenfood.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But Paul will tell you that his audience is predominantly younger. They're metabolically healthy. They're very, very athletic and fit. They can afford to drink fruit juice and eat fruit and eat honey. But the people who I'm trying to help reverse type 2 diabetes do not need to listen to Dr. Saladino. Once again, let me repeat, he is a great friend of mine. I have great respect for him. I have his book right over here on the bookshelf, which I still to this day recommend as one of the best carnivore books on the market today. Does that help, Carl? Holly Kreisel is in the Colorado mountains. Hey, Holly.
It's on Amazon. Okay. Several people have purchased it at $4.99. I think is what most
$4.99. Okay.
So I will know tonight, so we're going to watch it.
Hey, there you go. John Meeks, my wife and I are in our mid-60s, carnivore curious, and ready to begin a 90-day challenge. Would you recommend starting with keto or just going beef, butter, bacon, and eggs? We really enjoyed the movie Animal. Yeah, excellent. So it depends, John. Yeah. So here's the question. Will you miss vegetables? Do you love vegetables? And if your answer is no or hell no, then carnivore. Just do it. If your answer is, well, I mean, I like, spinach and I like, some spaghetti squash, then keto. It's just that simple. They're both going to give you results. I think on average, carnivore gives results quicker, but it's not quicker if you can't stick to carnivore and you wind up falling off the wagon and cheating and not carnivore anymore, then you screwed the pooch, didn't you? So pick the one that you're like, oh yeah, I could eat meat and veg forever. Or, oh yeah, I could eat beef, butter, bacon, and eggs forever. Pick that one and stick to it.
I love when people give Saladino crap because salad's in his name. His name is Dr. Berry.
But wait for it. So there's Dr. Saladino, there's Dr. Berry, and there's Dr. Sean Baker.
Right. It's all very ironic.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic. We didn't plan it that way, I promise.
Okay, so here's the big announcement. We are hosting our very first PhD certified health coaching program. This first round is a cohort, which means we are basically holding your hand the entire time. You will get videos from myself, some other pro coaches, and Dr. Berry. You will also get live Q&A about each module with one of the instructors, be that myself, the other coaches, or Dr. Berry. You will also get templates. You will get access to special speakers. We are going to cover everything from proper human diet nutrition to business to social media marketing, all the things to get you out the door in 6 months. It's 6 months. By the time you graduate, you should have a working business model, if not a already working business model, because we want you to not only understand the basics and get a certification, but also actually know how to launch a business, keep your dignity, not be a salesy person, not be overpromising stuff, but actually understand how to be a health coach. We are doing our coaching skills as a clinical, as in it's not nursing school, but we're going to replicate that process, see one, teach one, do one. You will be comfortable. You will not, if you leave this program with, what's the term that everybody, imposter syndrome. I have not done my job properly. I don't want anyone to leave this program with imposter syndrome, because you don't have to. You will be confident. We won't let you out until you're like, I'm ready. Yep. I'm good. I'm ready to take a phone call with somebody. So once you're done, you will also have access to a network where we will continue to touch base with you on a monthly process. We're going to do live Q&As in our membership. We're going to keep going with you. So we're not just going to drop you off and leave you at the bus stop and say, good luck.
Yep.
We're going to continue to touch base with you. We're only taking 200 people. There is an application. You will submit your application. If you go to the website, PhDHealthCoachAcademy.com, there's a place to get on our wait list. If you get on the wait list right now, you're going to get something in your inbox. Make sure you're checking your spam. Get ahead of the curve, because once we hit that 200 mark, then we're going to close it. And then there will be a self-paced program in the future that you can do if you want to do that with replays and stuff. But then we'll run another cohort in another year that is extra support, extra involvement.
And you noticed all the things that she said this program was not going to be, or that it definitely was going to do. The reason she said all those things is because there are other coaching certification programs that don't do those things.
And those are fun if that's what you need.
If you just need a piece of paper.
Yeah, that's totally fine. This is not for everyone. If you don't want to really, if it's a hobby for you and you just want to start, then this is not the program for you. But if you really want this to either be a side hustle or your main job,
or you want a job at a doctor's office, being a health coach that works side by side with a doctor,
then this may be for you.
This is for you. Yes, absolutely. All right, here's Aaron. I hate tracking macros and weighing food. Me too, dude. I never do it. I am mainly carnivore. How do I know I'm eating the proper protein to fat ratio? This is a useless question, but it's also a great question.
It's a good question.
It's a good question, yes. But once you understand and learn that you can trust your own body, trust your anatomy, your physiology, your biochemistry, then you'll realize, oh yeah, that was a dumb question, but I didn't know at the time. It sounded like a really smart question. So the answer is you don't have to do any of that. You buy fatty meat. You always eat the yolk with the eggs. Anytime you cook meat, you cook it in butter or bacon grease, and then you put some butter on top of it. If you feel like you're eating too much fat, back up on the fat a little. If you feel like you're not getting enough fat, increase the fat. Every mammal on planet Earth knows exactly what to eat and how much to eat, except for human beings. And that's because we've been propagandized and advertised so much that we don't know. We think we can't trust our taste buds or our stomach or our hunger hormones or our fullness hormones. You can trust all those, especially if you're on carnivore. Eat fatty meat, eggs with the yolk, seafood if you like it, as long as it's not breaded or fried in a vegetable seed oil. Eat until you're full and stop eating. You'll get exactly as much fat and protein as you need. If you're feeling a little off, up the fat or up the protein. Experiment, play around. My sheep in the pasture, I never have to tell them how much grass to eat. Somehow, even though they don't have a health coach certification, they can figure out every day how much grass they should eat. You're capable of the same thing, but you got to trust your body and give it time. Okay. Also, salt your meat to taste. That way we know you're getting enough salt, because your taste buds are there for a reason.
Lot says, can you work independently with clients as a PhD coach? Liability. So this is the same as any other health coaching program. Primal, there's many on the market. You can do some research. I encourage you to go down the rabbit hole of what
Absolutely.
health coaches can do and what they can't do, which we will cover.
Yeah, we teach you all that. Yes.
But yeah, you can have your own health coaching business. That's what I do. And many of our coaches in the PhD community have their own health coaching programs that they run. And you just basically you're a coach for the person. You help them find their proper human diet, which is what we're going to teach you, how to work with people and get them to where they need to be or want to be.
And here's another thing I don't hear talked about nearly as much as it should be. Health coaching is did you know it's already like a $5 billion a year business? Health coaches, it's going to explode. It's going to 5X or 10X that. And here's why. As more and more doctors realize, oh my gosh, the American Diabetes Association doesn't know what they're talking about when it comes to feeding a diabetic, more and more doctors are going to start hiring a health coach, just like they would hire a medical assistant in their practice.
They already do.
Absolutely, but it's going to explode. I'm just telling you guys right now, if you've got this certification, you need a certification that doctors can trust. Okay, if it's some fly-by-night that you got and it took you 2 weeks to get it, and you basically just, multiple choice guessed until you got them right, and then you got your piece of paper, doctors are not interested in that. But if they are interested in a health coach that went to a rigorous health coaching certification program, they're going to be looking for you. And this is a real job in a doctor's office. That's going to explode. Watch over the next 3 to 5 years.
We'll do a live Q&A all about that. we're getting a little sidetracked. I don't want to take away from the questions, but we can do, if y'all want a Q&A more
100%.
about health coaching,
100%.
we can do that.
Rob says, please recommend a good common sense resource on microplastics and synthetic estrogens focused on the biological effects on human development. So the best resource out there is a book by my friend, Dr. Anthony J., called Estrogeneration. He breaks it down, and it's a little sciencey, but I promise you, with a little help from ChatGPT, you can figure out what the words mean and what the sentences mean. But when it comes to microplastics, nanoplastics, BPA, BPS, phthalates, benzenes, all that stuff, it's in your food if you're eating ultra-processed food, okay? Glyphosate is in your food if you're eating ultra-processed breakfast cereal and stuff that comes from a food factory, okay? Anthony J., Estrogeneration, there is no better resource to break down plastic exposure and estrogen-mimicking things. Yes, that's the one. Target prime rib. So I am not going any higher than 155 on my CGM and kept dropping quickly. So I had to cut my insulin in half, and it keeps getting better. Thank you. So this is a type 2 diabetic who was on insulin, and now on carnivore, he's having to continuously cut his insulin because he doesn't need it anymore. Before long, he won't take insulin anymore at all. And before long, he won't be a type 2 diabetic anymore. Huzzah. Here's Tia. Hi, I'm strict carnivore. For the past 6 months, I've been getting hormonal migraines every 2 weeks. I am 2.5 years postpartum. What are your thoughts? So this absolutely is still within the window of postpartum effects. Am I right about that, labor and delivery nurse? It's getting out almost outside the window, but 3 years is really the window for getting all the pregnancy hormones out of your body.
Not optimum.
It was doing good there.
We're using a book as a place to put our microphone. Yeah, I would have your hormones checked.
But it's time to go to the doctor. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And
you're having that, it's that often.
You didn't tell me how old you were, Tia. So
that sounds cyclical.
It does. And I would say it's time to probably get some hormones checked, sex hormones, and go from there. And I think, Tia, you're in our private community, aren't you? If not, you should join, because you can ask me. I'll be live tomorrow at 4 p.m. and I can answer this question. But if not, then I guess I'll try to answer your questions as I see them. Yes.
Okay. I didn't know if you were going to take a breath or not. I can never tell. Huge things coming to the PhD community, by the way. If you're already a member, you've already seen a lot of the changes. It's way better already, but it's going to get even better.
Any tribe members in the comments?
I know. I see you guys. I see you. But we have an announcement coming up in the next month, hopefully, that I think so many of you are going to be very, very, very happy about.
Totally agree. Totally agree. All right. Let's see. Who did I get? I got Tia. Okay, here's Sandy, 54-year-old BF. Testosterone was low at 204. So I'm taking it Sandy's a BF. I don't know what a BF is. I'm sorry. But I think that she must have XY chromosomes. So, yes, your testosterone, if you have XY chromosomes, your testosterone is super low. Doc gave testosterone cypionate injection 1 time a week. Can carnivore diet help with this, or what else can? Yes, 100%. The more red meat you eat, Sandy, the more your testosterone is going to come up. That's number 1. Number 2, the more you lift heavy things, and that you can join the gym and lift weights. You can buy a weight set at home. You can literally lift furniture at your house. You just need to lift heavy things to build muscle. The more muscle you build, the higher your testosterone is going to come naturally. Now, at 204, you need the testosterone injections right now. But there may come a time on carnivore lifting heavy things where you don't need that anymore. Oh, her 54-year-old boyfriend.
That's a completely different answer.
I was like, no, I'm still talking to her boyfriend. Yeah. Everything I just said applies to Sandy's boyfriend. Yeah. I didn't know where we were going with this. So that's why I went to XY chromosomes, because that answers the question.
I'm so confused.
It's because you're XX, I'm XY. I didn't know if this was like a gender.
But okay. Yeah. To me, BF is breastfeeding. So I got
yeah. The labor and delivery nurse is like breastfeeding.
BF for me is always breastfeeding.
Kelly.
Anyways.
Oh, wait, Kelly, come back here. Please advise on how to lose weight with metastatic breast cancer with mets to the lungs and bones. 6.5 years ago is when you were diagnosed. NED on hormone blockers and on immunotherapy. Either keto, meat heavy keto, ketovore, or carnivore. You need one of those diets because, first of all, it's going to help your body fight the return of the cancer. Breast cancer loves sugar. More and more doctors are finally begrudgingly admitting that, yeah, cancer loves sugar. It sure does. The more sugar you eat, the higher your blood sugar is, the greater the chance that the cancer will thrive and metastasize. You want to be eating as close to zero carb as you can, Kelly. Meat heavy keto, ketovore, carnivore. I've got videos on all three on my YouTube channel. Neisha has lots of ketovore videos on her YouTube channel. She also has tons of recipe videos, tons of gardening videos, farm videos. Our cute, beautiful, intelligent children who are both, we looked it up today, they're both in the 105th percentile.
They're so tall.
For height.
They definitely took after him.
And she thought Beckett was just average height. And I'm like, I don't think so.
I don't see a lot of, we are surrounded by girls in this community. Yeah. All kids his age, they're all girls, I swear. We go to church, girls.
Yep.
Homeschool, girls.
Yep.
Horseback riding, girls. Everything is girls.
Yes, you're right about that. Okay, here's Wendy. Thoughts on vegetable rennet and Pfizer rennet in cheese? I would use real rennet. I definitely wouldn't use anything from Pfizer, first and foremost, because I don't want to support them financially, because I believe they are first cousins with Satan. Okay. And if you just look back, Pfizer criminal cases and Pfizer civil cases, you might agree with me, because I bet you haven't looked that up. And if you look that up, you'll be like, oh crap. Yeah, they're not nice people. Vegetable rennet works okay, but real rennet comes from a cow's stomach. That's where it comes from. So either vegetable or bovine, I think is fine.
You know what else they had at Walmart today?
What did they have? Tell me right now. Don't make me wait.
Chitlins.
They had chitterlings.
Big pack
of chitterlings.
Yeah.
Tell me in the comments, have you ever eaten chitterlings? First of all, do you know what chitterlings are? Number two, have you eaten them? Number three, did you like them? I tried them one time at the fair in Carroll County. Yep. They had back in one of their little food things. I mean, those women were cooking up some, and we call them chitlins here. Yeah. But I think it's chitterlings.
That's how it's spelled on the package. Yeah. It took me a minute because I was like,
what is that?
What's chitterlings? But then I was like, oh, chitlins.
Chitlins, yes. And I did not like them. It tasted like butthole.
I think it depends on who cooks them and if
they know what they're doing. Maybe. But these women were supposed to be
maybe they did. Maybe
world
you
experts.
Just don't have good taste
but it was in a sandwich, and that was kind of weird. It was like eating macaroni on a sandwich, sort of. Yeah. And then I was like, it kind of tastes like butthole. I don't like it.
Yeah, I had them at a potluck.
At a potluck, at somebody's house or an event.
Event, yeah.
And did you like them?
No.
So these are.
But I did try them.
These are pig intestines. That's what they are. They clean them thoroughly. I think they strip them and then they boil them and spice them up. And so you said yes or no?
They're boiled. No, I did not.
You did not. Yeah, mine were boiled as well. I think maybe if you cooked them a different way.
I think if they were deep fried in bacon grease, I'd probably eat them. But I would eat most things deep fried in bacon grease. So.
100%. Where Pigs Fly Farm. That sounds like a good YouTube channel to check out. 54-year-old with ulcerative colitis and diverticulitis started line diet May 1st, physically active, 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. on a farm, I believe you. 117 pounds, 5'5", so I'm taking it you're a female. Wanted to do fasting to help cure, afraid to lose more weight. Suggestions. Thank you for everything. So Where Pigs Fly Farm. If when you do break your fast, you eat until you're comfortably stuffed and you eat plenty of fat and plenty of protein, you're not going to lose more weight. Your body is not an idiot. And this, again, goes back to what I was talking about earlier with counting macros and how do I know if I'm getting enough fat and enough protein? Your body does not need your help. Your body just needs you to eat fat and protein when you're hungry, plus or minus a little bit of carbs if you want it. But that's for you, not for your body. But if you eat enough fat and enough protein, you're not going to lose any weight. You're not going to lose muscle. You're not going to lose bone. You don't have much fat to lose, so there's nothing to lose. Your appetite, your hunger hormones are going to increase to the point where you're eating enough fatty meat and eggs with the yolk you're just going to maintain this weight as you get healthier and healthier, and as your ulcerative colitis symptoms get less and less and less severe.
You know what else they had at Walmart?
What? Tell me now. Don't make me wait.
Trotters. Pig trotters.
Who knows what pig trotters are? And who's eaten them before? We have.
They had pig feet, pig necks too. I think they had all.
I bet a pig neck.
Do y'all want a video of me showing you the budget-friendly things that you need? Because listen, pig feet, that sounds nasty.
Do that.
I know it sounds crazy, but that makes the best bone broth ever.
We tried to eat them.
No,
I did not like them.
But I made bone broth with them, and
I
put boiled eggs in them like a pho with no noodles.
I regret that I have only 2 thumbs to up. It was so good.
Never had a better bone broth in my life.
100%.
So
absolutely. Good. Here's P. Tracer. My mom is getting a cholecystectomy Friday. How can she manage low carb keto after? I heard the fats can be difficult to handle for some. So first thing you have to understand, P. Tracer, is that your mom signed a release saying that she understood that she might have diarrhea for the rest of her life after having her gallbladder removed. That's on the form. You can get a copy of that and read it. So people who have their gallbladder out, they always are just on the verge of having diarrhea because it messes with your gastrointestinal physiology and anatomy both. So, but the common bile duct and the hepatic ducts in the liver they'll actually dilate, and they'll take on a storage capacity once the gallbladder's gone, because the gallbladder's job is to store and concentrate bile. That's all it does. It doesn't really do anything else. Her hepatic ducts will take on that. And so if she introduces keto or low carb slowly over the month or 2 after her surgery, she's going to do just fine. Her body's made to eat this diet with or without a gallbladder.
Nike says this northern girl has no idea what any of this food you're talking about is. Listen, I bet if you go to any grocery that is not American, wherever you live, if you have an Asian market, Mexican market, any of those things, they're always going to carry these type of cuts because they are cheap and they are really good for making broths and stocks. And like y'all, if y'all are not interested in liver and trotters and chicken feet and those kind of cuts, you're not on a budget yet. Okay.
Yeah, you're not hungry enough and you're not broke enough.
Because what you will get there. If times keep going the way you're gonna be like, yes, sign me up some pig feet, because they were like $2 a pound and they make the best collagen bone broth you're ever gonna have in your life. Yes, and throw some eggs in there and boost it with the protein. Like, listen, we have been poor.
Yes. And we used to go to the Asian market and the Hispanic market when we lived in Nashville just to see what they had. Remember, they had sheep stomach,
everything. They
had cow, every kind of testicle
and
you could
want.
It's
always economical.
Chicken feet, duck feet, and that also makes an exceptional bone broth.
Any kind of feet. Honestly.
Any kind of feet. Yeah, any kind of feet. There should not be a foot that goes to waste.
Listen, people make fun of me on my YouTube videos because I throw in cheap things all the time that are crazy or disgusting. And it's like, listen, my grandparents were broke. You know what I mean? Like,
as were mine.
We utilize the things that most people would throw out because they're still good, and you can make really good things from them. And if you're just not, if you're willing to give in a little bit.
Let's not say our grandparents were broke, because Granny Berry's sitting in Alabama right now. Well, we were not broke.
Okay, but
we were lower middle class. Granddaddy had a job at the factory. Granny was a housewife. Your grandfather was a teacher and a principal. Your grandmother was a housewife. So they were lower middle class.
Well, she worked at the shoe factory for a very long time.
They all came up broke. So they had grown up eating all this stuff, and it was
a garden, raised their own food
every year.
That's how we were raised.
Absolutely, yeah, that's the way it should be.
Anyways, all that to say, like, there is a way if you have the will.
100%. But she's right. If you get hungry enough and broke enough, you'll be buying chicken livers and chicken feet and pig's feet and pig snout and pig butthole and whatever you can find.
If you're willing to say protein and fat and nutrients is more important than what's up here, because with the exception of chitlins, I will say most things sound awful, and when you eat them, if you know how to cook them, which is easy because we have the internet, you can learn how to cook it and make it taste really good.
Yes. Susie, Dr. Berry, can eating carnivore cure lupus? No. But eating a carnivore diet can reduce your levels of inflammation to the point and improve your nutrition status to the point where it will feel to you like your lupus is in remission. We've got several people with lupus in our private community and who report this as long as they stay clean on meat heavy keto. And when I say keto, I got to say this. I'm talking about real, whole, one ingredient, real food keto. I'm not talking about keto bread and keto cakes and keto pie. Meat and veg. That's what keto is. So meat heavy keto, Ketovore, carnivore, your lupus symptoms are going to be so less severe. Your outbreaks are going to be so less often. You're going to be very happy with the results. I promise you, Susie.
Chris Cook in Nashville is over here saying, I can help you make these dishes amazing
using
these cheap cuts. He can.
Yes. Chris Cooking Nashville got a great YouTube channel. You should check it out.
Hey, Brian says, my first live stream here just started Carnivore 8 days ago. Welcome, Brian. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Dickie Mo, 3 months carnivore and several weeks waking up between 1 and 3 a.m. It's affecting me and not sustainable. Will this get better, or will a teaspoon of honey before bed help? So before I started eating the honey at bedtime, that can be plan C. Okay, Dickie Mo. First thing you're going to do is you're going to have 1 or 2 tablespoons of butter at bedtime. Try that for a night or two. If that works, great. You can do that every night for the rest of your life. Plan number two, plan B, a big pinch of salt either on your tongue or mixed in a small glass of water at bedtime. If you drink too much water, you have to get up and pee. That'll interrupt your sleep. So just maybe 4 ounces of water and a big pinch of salt. Try that for 2 or 3 nights. Then actually plan C would be to do both of those at the same time. Try that. And then if that don't work, fine. You can have your teaspoon of honey at bedtime.
Let's get Jesse. Jesse says, I am a 100% disabled Desert Storm veteran. Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
With type 2 diabetes. My counts are from 100 to 140 and they want to up my metformin. What's your advice? Please help. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, so Jesse, thank you. Thank you for your sacrifice and your service. You need to go either meat heavy keto or Ketovore or carnivore. And here's why. Rather than increasing your metformin, wouldn't you rather in 3 to 9 months from now say, I used to have type 2 diabetes, but I don't have it anymore. My A1C is normal now. My blood sugars are normal now. Wouldn't you rather do that than just keep upping the medicine? Because that's what meat heavy keto or Ketovore or carnivore will do for you in 3 to 9 months. In 3 to 9 months, you will not be a type 2 diabetic anymore. Also, if you have high blood pressure, your blood pressure will come down. If you have fatty liver, that will be gone within 3 months. If you have metabolic syndrome, that will be gone within 3 to 6 months. If you're obese, you will lose a chunk of weight in 90 days on meat heavy keto, Ketovore, or carnivore. Yes, please try that and please report back. Yes, please. Here's Yogi. Dr. Berry, my friend wants to try carnivore. She has a diagnosis of phenylketonuria, PKU. She is considered a variant and has a score of 11. Can you advise so I can continue to encourage her? Yes, so she needs to talk to her doctor about the carnivore diet. She may be one of the people who needs to modify this. She might need to be more keto than carnivore. She might need to do other meats besides just red meat. She needs to have a good conversation with her doctor, and she needs to be having good conversations with ChatGPT and watching YouTube videos so that when she goes to her doctor, she can have a good list of intelligent questions to discuss with her doctor.
Says, Dr. Berry, will you be attending the Modern Homesteading Conference in June?
Will I be?
Yes, he will. In Idaho. I can't pronounce the city. But yeah, he leaves tomorrow because it's a insane amount of flight time to get from Nashville to, I can't pronounce this.
Let me guess, no direct flight.
No direct flight. And he's got to switch airlines. It's a mess, but he's going to be there, and then he's going to get there and drive, I think, 40 minutes to wherever it is. But yeah, he'll be there, and he's going to do a live talk, and then he's also going to have an interview on a homesteading channel while he's there, make some good connections, because homesteading is our other passion. Yep. I think we both agree
is also the future.
That it marries well with what we talk about here. every Monday Night Live.
Absolutely.
That eating real food is important, but also understanding where your food comes from, supporting the local farmer so that you can know where your food comes from, growing your own food, even if you only have a balcony on an apartment. Growing some herbs is a step in the right direction.
And that could save you $200 a year.
Herbs, if you buy fresh herbs at Walmart, for a little thing of basil, it's crazy.
$6 or something, right?
Yeah, and it's not even good because it probably was packaged before it was
in Mexico 2 months ago.
Who knows where it's coming from and what was sprayed on it? But you can farm organic in small spaces.
On your balcony.
Homesteading conferences are so great because they're teaching people how to do regenerative farming like we do here on the farm.
And let me tell you why we promote homesteading and regenerative ranching and regenerative farming. So the salty minerals, me and Chris Bear came up with this because the soil in every modern country of the world, but especially America, because that's where I live, has been so over-farmed. It's been farmed to death. There's just not enough minerals in the soil. And you can look, there's actual research where they compared the vegetables harvested in I think it was the 1990s versus the 1950s, 50% less minerals. Okay. That's why we made this, is because even if you're eating vegetables and meat, if the grass that the meat grazed on is low in minerals, then the meat's going to be low in minerals. But we believe so much in regenerative farming and ranching that one day when enough of us are regeneratively farming and ranching, this will no longer be needed. We won't need this anymore. And I'll be happy to take it off the market when that day comes. Does that make sense?
There is a link in the description. I'm pretty sure it gives you a discount also.
It does. Yes, you're correct.
So yeah, get a few chickens. Get a container. I have a discount code on my channel for Greenstock, which are vertical gardening. All you need is, I think, 2 square feet, maybe 1 square feet. And you can put, how many plants did I have in there? 20?
25, 20, 30, something like
maybe.
that. Yeah.
And you can grow herbs in there. You can grow flowers to make your heart happy. Strawberries, tomatoes. They have even trellises now that you can clip on so that your vines go. You can do it. Start small. Don't overwhelm yourself and just learn how to do it.
JNS question: glyphosate in meat and eggs and monogastric or one stomach animals. So there's a tiny amount of glyphosate in this, maybe. But so here's what I ask. I've started asking everybody this question. So JNS, if you're not going to eat pork and chicken, what are you going to replace it with? If your answer is, well, beef, then yeah, sure, do it. But if your answer is, well, I guess I'll start eating bread and cereal again, guess what? They've got anywhere from 100 to 1,000 times more glyphosate. If you eat a bowl of breakfast cereal, you're literally eating a bowl of glyphosate. Okay, whether it's oats, whether it's corn, whether it's rice, or whether it's wheat. They're all sprayed with glyphosate, and they don't get each little kernel of wheat down and scrub it and get the glyphosate off of it, okay? It soaks in. They grind that up. There is glyphosate in your bread 100 times more than there would be in chicken or fish or pork, 100% yes. If you want to cut down your glyphosate intake, you eat carnivore. If you want to cut down your microplastic and your nanoplastic intake, carnivore. That's the way you cut all that stuff to the bare minimum. And I think that's part of the almost magical healing ability of a carnivore diet, is that you eliminate all this crap.
Or you can have an organic garden like I do.
Then you don't have to worry about it. That's right.
Sherry says it's pronounced Coeur d'Alene is where you're going. Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
Coeur d'Alene. Okay. All
right. Thank you for that.
Vicky says you, Neisha Solis-Berry, need to make more Hashimoto's videos. She listens to your old ones over and over.
I made one last year. I can make another one.
Yeah, make another one.
Yeah, and when I do my what I eat in a day videos, if you don't follow my channel, I do what I eat in a day videos showcasing what I do for my personal proper human diet. And I just kind of give you guys ideas for meals and stuff, but also show you strategic videos if you go back on how I went through. Like I have one called Healed My Hashimoto's 10 years of healing in 20 minutes or something like that. That's the best video to go watch probably right now, because I really walk you through how I did it, because it was not a very clear straight go to carnivore when I started this stuff. That was back in 2015. You sure weren't going to do keto for your Hashimoto's. much less carnivore. I got all kinds of hate for doing it. How dare you do that? You're spreading misinformation. Hashimoto's, you need carbs for your thyroid. You're going to kill your thyroid, as opposed to what? My Hashimoto's literally kills your thyroid if you just don't treat it, or even if you do treat it, that's your prognosis. So I was like, what do I have to lose? I feel better when I eat low carb. And then over years, I cut back till I did carnivore for about 4 months, and then I introduced things back in and picked and choose what I was willing to eat and what didn't affect me and what did. So
I've been taking care of people with Hashimoto's thyroiditis for 23 years now, and there are only 2 diets that I have ever seen that will move somebody's antibodies, their TPO antibody and TG antibody, back towards normal. That's Ketovore and Carnivore. That's the only 2 I've ever seen do that. Meat heavy keto might improve it a little, but it will definitely keep your Hashimoto stable. But every other diet, every plant-based diet, I have never seen them have any effect at all, or they have a negative effect. Your thyroid does not need for you to eat carbohydrates.
And I'm a bit of a rebel when it comes to thyroid health. Now, I did what I wanted, even though people would tell me not to. But also,
I do what I want.
I do what I want. And I honestly don't pay as much attention to my labs as most people do. I strategically track my signs and symptoms. And I know exactly what makes my Hashimoto's flare up and what makes me feel amazing. And I can tell you, it's not just food, it's sleep, it's stress. It's a lot of things. Activity level. If you go too hard, that's a bad thing. But if you lay around, that's also bad. You got to find your Goldilocks thing. And we try to help you in the PhD community. If you're in there, you can ask questions.
Yeah, we got hundreds of people with Hashimoto's in there that you can make friends with and bounce ideas off of. Here's Karen. Okay, husband can't have pork. It destroys his insides. Blames parents for not cleaning up after cats when he was growing up. Is that a real thing? What can you do to help? He hates when I make bacon and pork belly.
The smell of it?
I think that eating it.
He hates when I make.
He can't have pork. So I think
don't eat pork. I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, eat beef. Eat beef and eggs with the yolk. There you go. Problem solved. But so if your question is, he loves bacon, but if he eats it, it tears him up, I would try a gradual reintroduction of bacon. So I would eat beef and eggs with the yolk, and then I would just eat literally 1 gram of bacon. Start out with the lean part of the bacon, and see what happens. If everything's okay, then to go to 2 grams, 3 grams, 4 grams, keep adding a little bit more, then add a little of the fat. And I think that just like we desensitize people with allergies, he can probably desensitize himself, because this could be all in his head, Karen. I'm not saying it is. Karen's husband, I'm just saying it could be. But it also could be a real thing that he's picked up some weird antihistamine response, which can give you diarrhea or nausea or other gut issues. But I would gradually just try literally a tiny amount and then increase from there.
Our Desert Storm Vet says, I just wanted to say thank you for answering my question. My wife and I are watching y'all now. She's the one who has me watching your show, and I'm impressed by y'all. I will
Listen to your wife.
Wives know best.
Listen to your wife. Even when she's wrong, she's still right. And if what I just said didn't make sense to you, you're not an old enough and wise enough man yet. You need to keep learning. You'll learn one day. Joshua, I have a neurological injury due to benzodiazepines. Also had Lyme and mold. I have histamine issues, but after watching Saladino, I'm worried and confused what to do. My brain and nervous system is struggling and need easy. So, Josh, here's the quickest way for you to figure out. You don't have to pick my side. You don't have to pick Paul Saladino's side.
Pick your side.
Right. And here's how you're going to find out what your side is. You're going to do a month of beef, butter, bacon, and eggs only. Do that for a month. And drink water, black coffee, or unsweet tea. And after that month, if you're like, dude, I feel amazing, I want to stay on this, you can. But if you don't feel amazing, you can then, for the next 90 days, you can do Paul Saladino's diet with lots of fruit and honey and fruit juice and see how that does you. And at the end of the 2 90-day experiments, I want you to journal and keep good notes as you go through these experiments. You're going to go back and look at your notes, and you're going to go, which diet made me feel best mentally, physically? That's your side. That's the one you pick. That's how you know. And if it's Paul's and you feel amazing, huzzah, Joshua. If it's mine and you feel amazing, huzzah. I just want you to feel amazing.
Get a notebook. Get a pen. Write it down. Get a notebook. Get a pen. 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 Get a pen and keep up with your data. Consider this a science experiment and go use the scientific method. Google that if you forgot what you learned in 4th grade.
Right.
And really use that to figure out where you fit on the proper human diet spectrum, because we don't care where you fit. If you're a carnivore and you feel amazing, awesome. If you're low carb and you still include whole food carbohydrates and you feel amazing,
and even include sourdough bread as long as it's homemade,
and you feel amazing and like you're living your best life, your labs look good, and we are happy for you.
Yes.
We have no personal gain from where you fall. We want you to find the best health that you can sustain that leads to not only longevity but quality of life for as long as possible.
Yes, lifespan and health span.
Yes.
Both. Here is Mike, strict carnivore here. Please advise on best restaurant protocol for high-end business diners to ensure no seed oils or impurities for full carnivore compliance while balancing social appropriateness with counterparties. So here's what I would do, Mike.
We have 2 different answers.
Yeah. So, and I agree with hers, but here's the answer you're looking for, Mike. Make up a little business card that says, I am allergic to canola oil, soybean oil, and corn oil, because that's what 99% of restaurants use. And then also put on this includes vegetable shortening, margarine, and plant butter, because and just hand that to your server. She will turn white in the face and she will go back to the kitchen and she will come back out. And if it's a steak restaurant, they're going to be like, oh, dude, you're fine. We don't use any of that shit anyway. But if it's kind of a mixed food restaurant, she might very well come back out and say, sir, you probably should dine somewhere else. We can't assure that there's not some of that in your foods. And that's your cue. There you go. Find another restaurant. But that card, that they do not want to be sued, because you told them and then they gave you something with canola in it. They'd be scared to death of you. Yes. Now your answer.
Well, you did specify high-end business dinners. And so I mostly agree with you, because most high-end restaurants are not going to be using canola oil on their steaks.
That's exactly
anyways.
Right. Yes.
But you said allergies.
Yeah, I would say I'm allergic to it.
That's where I disagree. Okay. I think just to be very frank and say, I don't eat canola oil because I'm trying to be healthy, and I think canola oil is unhealthy. If there is a way that I can just have my food cooked in butter, please, could you accommodate me? Yeah. Because you are a guest and you're paying a lot of money, so they probably will accommodate you. 100%. But at the end of the day, if you were going to Steak and Shake, you're eating canola oil, and that's just the way that it is. And you need to stay home if you don't want to eat that.
At a high-end restaurant, Neisha's exactly right. If you say, could you cook my food in stump water, they will go find some stump water to cook your food in. That's a high-end restaurant.
Well, it depends. Because if you go to a super high-end, the chef's going to say, you came here to eat what's on the menu.
That's true. Yeah.
And if you don't want to eat what's on the menu, then take a hike. And that's also their right. Like you are, when you step into an establishment, you are there to eat what is on their menu. Mm-hmm. And there are, I think you should be able to ask as a customer. However, they have the right to say, listen, what's on the menu is what is on the menu. And you're entitled to leave, or you're entitled to eat here, but this is what we have and this is what we cook in. And if you are being very strict, then I'm not talking to you. You're going to a business dinner. Like, obviously you have to go. You could also eat before you go. Check the menu before you go. Call ahead of time and say, hey, I'm just asking, my client, even put it on your client. My client's on a very strict diet. Right. If we come to your place, are they going to be able to order and follow their guidelines for their dietary needs? Smart. There's all ways to go about it. But I just hate the allergy thing because it's lying. You don't have
Is it lying if it causes inflammation?
An allergy is anaphylactic shock.
There is a range of allergies.
That's a sensitivity. That's a food sensitivity.
Norbert.
You can say that.
Hey, wait. Here's one from Norbert. Norbert. I start gym about 2 months ago with good results on carnivore. My question is regarding the protein to fat ratio. Dr. Eric Westman suggests not to add extra fat, instead use fat already on the body and not from the diet. I agree. You can either add fat or you can burn the fat on your body. But even if you add fat, you're still going to burn the fat on your body. That's how human physiology works. Just because you ate some fat, your body's not an idiot. It's not going to be like, well, I've got 80 pounds of extra fat stored here, but since they ate that little gram of fat, I'm not burning any of that fat. That's not how the body works, okay? It's when you don't eat any carbs, that's when your body starts to burn the fat, okay? To be clear. Good question.
If you're eating fatty meat, you don't need to add fat. for the most part. If you're eating bacon, there's no need to put butter on that.
Listen to this. Chris says, put skin on pork shanks in a crock pot with 1 to 2 sticks of butter.
Yes.
Make it 2. Make it
Yes.
2. At 325 degrees for 3 hours. Greatest, most complete carnivore recipe ever.
Listen to Chris.
Yes, you can do this with pork neck.
Okay.
You can do it with mutton neck, sheep neck. You can do this with literally any cut of meat. Fat. You want to get fatty meat. You can do this. Oh my, it's going to be delicious no matter what kind of meat. You could go get a roadkill possum and put in that crock pot. It's going to be good.
And you will if hard times come.
Time gets hard enough. You'll be like, well, that possum's still warm. Go
It's
get
fresh.
that. It's fresh.
Yeah.
100%. This is from Andy Plays Games. I've been getting headaches daily lately. I did quit caffeine 4 days ago.
There you go, Andy.
Do I even need to read
You
the rest of
answered
this
your
question?
Yeah, 1 to 2 ibuprofen gets rid of it for a few
Mhm.
hours. I don't even have a PCP because otherwise I'm quite healthy.
No. You shouldn't be worried.
It's the caffeine.
It's
withdrawal.
caffeine withdrawal headache. And I would try to minimize, just take enough ibuprofen to knock the edge off of it, not to kill it completely. Because in another 2 or 3 days, you can stop the ibuprofen and you won't have the headache anymore.
All right. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. It's been an hour
Absolutely.
already. Time flies when you're having fun with your friends.
If you did not get your question answered, go to phdhealth.community and join our private community. I'll be live again.
No, you won't.
No, tomorrow I'm traveling. But typically, I'd be live again tomorrow at 4 p.m. in the group answering your
But
questions.
he's not the only person in there. We
That's
have
right.
lots of members that have been doing Proper Human Diet for years, and they're super supportive.
How
and
many
knowledgeable.
certified coaches do we have?
We also have coaches. I think we have 13 total now. And they're all amazing and supportive, and they're happy.
Mhm.
They go live every week too. It's not just the Dr. Berry
That's
show
right.
in
That's
there,
right.
okay?
We have
And
guest
honestly-
doctors, guest PhDs, guest
Yes.
nurse practitioners. They go live inside the group.
Yes.
So if you've got questions and you need answers and you cannot wait till next Monday night at 6 p.m. Central,